So, dear brothers and sisters, in every field of work and in every religious institution and in every family, there is a need for people to make decisions. There's a need for leaders. That's not a bad thing. Some people are good at seeing what the various needs are and making good responsible decisions which benefit everyone. Some people maybe aren't so good at it, but we like to have good leaders. I think there's kind of maybe it's just an Irish thing. I don't know. We are a bit rebellious when it comes to leadership or government, and we kind of there's a bit of a pushback in us. But I think overall, if you work in a school and you've got a really good principal who loves the students, who takes care of the teachers, keeps things together, it's great to work under someone like that. If we've got a superior who again takes an interest in your needs and the pastoral activity and so on and so forth and backs you all up, that's actually, it becomes a secure, a safe place to be. You like working under good leaders, or maybe you are a leader. That's a different kettle of fish altogether. That's it's not necessarily nice to be a leader. It's heavy. Okay, it can be quite heavy to be a leader because everything you do is watched. Everything. You know that as parents as well. When you if you've ever as a parent said to your little son, "We'll just choose a Michael." So Michael, oh, don't say that word, Michael. That's a bad word. But Mommy, yesterday you said that word when you couldn't find a parking space. No, that wasn't exactly what I said. Shoot. And you're caught rotten. You did. You said it. So basically, even as small kids are very attentive to what we call as adults hypocrisy. You can't tell me what to do if you don't do it yourself. We are allergic to hypocrisy in general in society, and rightly so. It's very, very easy to command, very easy to say what everyone else should be doing, very, very easy to give out. For Americans, that means scold. There we go. It's very easy to tell, to decide what everyone else should and shouldn't be doing. That's easy. That's not hard at all. Everyone has seen armchair managers, sit down with their vest on and a beer in hand, big belly which holds their chips. Run faster, you're slow. Jeannie, look at you. Do you know what I mean? And you're giving out to the players for not being fast enough. Jeannie, look at that. Ridiculous. Speed on you, turtle. You know what I mean? And just the irony, hypocrisy of it all is quite incredible. Saint James uses such a beautiful line when he says, "Show me your faith without works. Show me your faith without works, and I through my works will show you my faith." So if, for example, you think, well, I have good faith because I've studied theology. I have a master's, actually. I did a thesis on something smart. Right? And because of that, I think I'm doing pretty well. Firstly, would you be right to be impressed by someone who simply has a lot of titles? It's nice. It's good. Great. Does it make you any holier? No. Because we don't get into heaven because of what we know. We get into heaven because of what we do. Primarily accepting God's grace. But it's our actions that are what are important here, not just what we know. We can know what the right thing to do is and choose to do the wrong thing. Do we think people when they smoke don't know smoking is unhealthy? I think they're quite well aware smoking is unhealthy. It says so in every little package. You've got a picture of someone missing some breed of a body part anyway. So yes, they're quite aware that smoking is unhealthy and they do it anyway. So knowing isn't enough. It's what we do that counts. So today's first reading, Paul to the Corinthians, he says, I found this quite difficult. We prove that we are God's servants. How? by knowing lots of things. We prove that we are God's servants by studying an awful lot. We prove that we are God's servants by knowing what the Pope should do. This is what the Pope should do. And what the bishop then should do is, and what all these lay people, what they need to do is, and then all these nuns, what they need to do is that how we'll be recognized as God's servants? No. We prove we are God's servants by great fortitude in times of suffering, in times of hardship and distress, when we are flogged or sent to prison or mobbed, labouring, sleepless, or starving. That's how we prove that we're God's servants. It's anything but naive. Like, this is rooted in reality. How do we prove that we're God's servants? By how we react to the difficulties of life. We read a couple of weeks ago, I think it was Henri Nouwen who said, the spiritually mature person doesn't ask, why me? They ask, how will I respond? How will I respond? So, in poverty, or your country gets invaded, or the government falls apart, or the economy collapses, or you get diagnosed with some illness, a spiritually mature person will say, okay, Lord, this is hard, but how do I respond? As opposed to pointing the finger at what everyone else could have and should have done, and who's to blame, and where was God, and all of that. We know that we're servants of God, not because of what we know, but because of what the fruit of our life is. So even if I'm a good God-fearing person, even if I'm a priest or a daily mass goer, and then I spend my day saying, well, what the Pope should do, what the bishop should do, and what the government should do, and okay, at the end of the day then, what's the fruit of my day? What's the fruit of that particular day? Complaints, negativity, judgment, anger, sadness, discouragement, disillusionment. If that's how I spend my day, telling everyone else what they should be doing in order to be better, the fruit of my life, the fruit of my day is negative, it's bitter. Whereas doing the same thing, recognizing the needs in the world, recognizing the poverty and the sadness around us, and responding with, Lord, I raise up to you this person in their time of need. I raise up to you this person who's just lost a child. I raise up to you this person who's struggling. So rather than blaming the alcoholic for being such a waster, I raise up this person who's suffering from addiction. Heal his heart. Rather than condemning or criticizing our government, Lord, I raise them up to you. I raise them, sanctify them, guide them, strengthen them, grant them clarity of thought, wisdom, fortitude. Now, the same situation, the same stimuli, if you will, but my reaction is completely different. Rather than sitting there criticizing, all of these situations are now causing me to pray. So the fruit of my day, based on the same circumstances, the fruit of my day is completely different. The fruit of my day is now prayer and hope and trust. But the situation is the same. Because it can happen us that if I define myself as Catholic or as a good Catholic just because I go to Mass, or just because I've studied, or just because I'm part of a religious institution, or I have a collar or a veil, if I define myself as good just because I do those things, that's just not enough. And it's only a matter of time before someone is going to scream, hypocrite. You can talk the talk, but when it comes down to it, you do not walk the walk. When it comes down to it, you're as negative as everyone else. You're as critical as everyone else. And they might be right. What was it? Gandhi said, I like your Christ. I don't like your Christians. I like your Christ. I don't like your Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. We never want people to be able to say that. We want to be Christ-like. That's the essence of holiness, being Christ-like, being like Jesus, living like Jesus, i.e. reacting like Jesus and putting on the mind of Christ. And for that to happen, something has to die inside us. I can't always do my will and God's will at the same time. They won't always match up. So at times my will has to be put in second place. Or further, if you're married, your will comes in after that of your wife, children, and the mother-in-law. So it comes in at about 6th place. So this is the daily battle. This is the daily struggle for sanctity. We prove that we are servants of God by great fortitude in times of suffering, in times of hardship and distress, when we are flogged or sent to prison or mobbed, labouring, sleepless, or starving. We prove that we are God's servants by our purity, by our knowledge, by our patience and kindness, by a spirit of holiness, and by a love free from affectation. So a love that doesn't grasp onto people, expecting validation or expecting a return. Just an unadulterated, free gift of love. We prove that we're God's servants by the word of truth and by the power of God, by being armed with the weapons of righteousness in the right hand and in the left. So we ask the Lord today for a renewed heart, that the difficulties, trials that we face, that they may never cause us to become bitter and negative, but that they may cause us, motivate us to pray, so that the fruit of our day might be prayer and unity with God. Amen.